Hi, I'm MJ from Lioness Publications, and this session is Trump's Daily Dose, and this is for Saturday, the 20th of September. So we're going to cover a few things here. We've got one planet that has shifted position, so we're going to talk about that. We've got two moon angles, so we're going to talk about that. And then we've got a few planets that I just want to reaffirm where they are in the chart, just so everyone understands. So hopefully it won't be too much. And this sort of indicates that maybe Trump's not going to have a busy day tomorrow. So it's just going to be, sort of some of this other stuff we had talked about already. So first off, let's talk about the moon positions. We've got Moon squaring Uranus. Moon, emotions. Uranus, changeable. Square is tension. It's stress. So that means he's going to be disrupted routines. He's going to be restless. I don't want to say he's going to be quick to anger, but he's might be a little bit more difficult to deal with. And if you want to think about an analogy for this, think of it that, you've got the moon, think of a nice calm lake, and then all of a sudden what's Uranus? Lightning, thunder, storm. So that hits the calm lake, and what happens? Get a lot of waves, a lot of ripple, but then all of a sudden it's gone. Okay, so like a summer storm. It's not going to last long, maybe a few hours, and then it'll be back to the way he was feeling. Now, the next one we have is Moon square the nodes, so square both the south and the north nodes. As I mentioned before, the nodes are always related to karmic issues, sort of how we get to a certain point, and sometimes rather than looking at moving ahead, we sort of go back into our old routines. Well, in this case, it's going to happen with his emotions. What's going to happen is that he's going to get to a point tomorrow where it's like he could go and move forward and resolve other things, not redo the same things. So let's see what he does. We may know about it, but maybe we won't unless it's caught on the news. So when we think of that, think of it in this way. You have a GPS, which is the nodes. They're pointing you to go to a certain place. Okay. And you're driving along there, someone's driving you in the case of Trump, and all of a sudden your heart, your soul, is saying, no, I want to go here. So you want to go back to something familiar. The nodes are pointing you to something new, and your heart sort of pushes you back into something routine. It may be a diner you like, a restaurant, something like that. Maybe a place, maybe a person, but you can't go, in effect, to complete the journey that the node wants you to go to. So those are the two moon angles. So let's talk about some of the changes and shifts here. We've got Venus that actually moved back into the 12th house. It went retrograde. So he has been sort of social out there doing things. You might expect him to take a step back. So he's not, he probably will be fine with his friends, but he's probably not going to want to be around too many people. He may just play it down and probably play golf, which is what he likes to do on weekends and whenever he has time. So as noted, Venus is in the 12th now. The moon is in the first house, so there's a concentration on himself. That's where his emotions are. And we can tell certain times, he's talking about how media doesn't like him, emotional. Now, the next thing we have both Sun and Mercury in the second house. That's involved with his finances. So we may not see it, but there's a lot that he's doing with his finances, maybe trying to make money, talking about projects, or things he values. So it may not be specifically money, but things he values. The last one I want to mention, which is important, Mars is in the third house. Mars is what? Our aggression, our actions. What is third house? One of the things that rules is the media. Okay, it's going to be there for a while, maybe at least another month. And it might go retrograde, so it might actually pop back out again. Yeah. But we'll cover it if it does. So, and I want to get back just briefly about the Lilith in yesterday's Trump's Daily Dose. And when the person is in the place with the mirrors, they bump into, or they get bumped by Lilith. And then they turn around and they see Lilith. And as I mentioned, she's a very angry person, very enraged. But it's something that everyone has in them. You have a side that is full of rage. We don't let it out a lot of times. I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't, but it's there. But when the person turns to see Lilith, they're actually looking at themselves in the mirror. It's not Lilith they're seeing themselves. Seeing the rage, the hatred. So it's just something to remember. And sometimes that causes you to go on a different path. And that's where Trump has gone to. He's gone on this path of the hatred, the evil. So think about that. Have a good evening. Bye now.